DogDay is a prominent member of the Smiling Critters, and our brief encounter with him left a huge impact. With the fate of DogDay left up in the air, we couldn't help but wonder how he will show up in Chapter 4. After digging through, we've discovered something much darker. DogDay may not be the innocent friendly toy he appears to be. For starters, let's talk about who DogDay is. He was created as a member of the Smiling Critters line. DogDay acts as the leader of the group with a generally positive attitude. In the Smiling Critters cartoon, we learn that he's always looking for the bright side of any situation, even scary ones. In Chapter 3 of Poppy Playtime, the player gets to meet DogDay for the very first time. Unlike some of the other encounters, DogDay's situation is unique. Recall that around this time, the player is scrambling to turn the power on in Playhouse via the backup generator, all the while being chased by the ruined critters. When the Smiling Critters were first created, two versions were built in order to work in Playcare. There were the bigger bodies variants and then the much smaller plush-like versions. These tinier critters are known as the Ruined Critters because of their battered looks and violent personalities. The Ruined Critters reside in Playhouse and have a sadistic need to capture and devour the player. They screech like animals and laugh hysterically as they chase the player. Though, scary enough, they're easily frightened by the player's flare gun. As the player begins their pursuit from these ruined critters, they're able to escape and power on the generator of the Playhouse. But right after, the player makes a turn and discovers the jail cells where all of the heretics are held. One such prisoner is the bigger bodies version of one of the Smiling Critters, DogDay. Hanging in one of the cells, DogDay looks completely tortured. His head is cast downwards and his arms are chained up in a V-shape. DogDay is missing half of his body from the legs down. His torso is held tightly by a leather belt, presumably to keep his guts from spilling out. As the player approaches DogDay, he looks up in recognition and begins his monologue. Let's listen to what he has to say.
You're Poppy's angel. Come to save us. Nothing left to save. Not here. Lord Catnap's home, angel. Their home. A myriad pairs of eyes are on you now. Watching, waiting, hungry. They want nothing more than to crawl beneath your skin and eat away at you bit by little bit. Fill what feels empty inside themselves. That thing, Catnap. The prototype is his god, and this is what he does to heretics. These little toys follow Catnap to avoid that very fate, and in return, they are fed.
Catnap is the very reason DogDay is chained up and tortured. This is quite interesting, considering that in the Smiling Critters section, it is Catnap who the Smiling Critters call for help when they're scared of the wind. Now, it is Catnap who is causing the terror himself. That leads us to the next part. What happened to the rest of the Smiling Critters? While he doesn't explain in detail, DogDay tells the player, "We tried to fight it. The prototype's control. I'm the last of the Smiling Critters."
We tried to fight it. The prototype's control. I am the last of the Smiling Critters.
While DogDay doesn't go into excruciating detail about how it happened, we can assume all the other critters were killed by the prototype. But why keep DogDay alive and tortured all this time? Well, he is the leader of the Smiling Critters after all. What better way to send a message to the other toys, including the ruined critters, of why they shouldn't renounce the prototype as their savior? Or perhaps it may be another reason entirely. DogDay finishes his monologue with, "Listen to me. You need to get out of this place. You need to live. You and Poppy can fix this and end this madness." After DogDay proclaims that the player should make things right in the factory, he gets overcome by the ruined creatures. They climb up inside of him and use his corpse to chase the player. Luckily, the player is able to escape, but not before closing a door on DogDay. A scream can be heard, but what happens to DogDay is left unconfirmed. Did the little toys devour him completely, or does Catnap gather him and put him back in his cell? Is he still alive after all? There are so many possibilities. We think that DogDay could still be alive. There are two big theories floating around the Poppy Playtime community, and both could be possible. Some people think that DogDay's body could still be inhabited by the ruined critters, even after the player escapes. In this case, while DogDay isn't technically alive, his body could still reappear in Chapter 4. Only this time, he will be piloted by the ruined creatures. The other theory is that DogDay's mind was taken over by the ruined critters. This could be why his face distorts as they crawl inside of him. If this is true, it may be possible for DogDay to regain his mind later on, and if he does, how he shows up in Chapter 4 could truly be remarkable. especially if we're correct about who he really is. We believe that with all this information out on the table, we can pinpoint DogDay's true identity. DogDay could actually be Dr. Harley Sawyer, the founder of the Bigger Bodies Initiative. Both DogDay and Harley Sawyer are voiced by the same actor, Baldwin Williams. This isn't the first time we see two characters sharing the same voice actor either. Both Poppy and Stella Graber have the same actor. Let's take a look at a VHS tape with Dr. Sawyer and Catnap. Catnap is being interviewed by Leith Pierre, who says, "Normally I'd have Dr. Sawyer do this, but he's, out, let's say. So you got me until they find his replacement." Pierre explains that Dr. Sawyer is not going to be returning, and they are looking for someone to replace him. It is confirmed at this point in time the doctor is either missing, banned from working, unable to work, or killed. We don't get a solid answer, and neither does Catnap. We think that Dr. Sawyer could have been turned into DogDay, and the amount of evidence supporting this is surprising. Think about it. Harley Sawyer was very focused on keeping Playtime Co. afloat by any means necessary. This means harming orphans and staff members by proposing the Bigger Bodies Initiative in an attempt to save money for the company. It is also shown later in a VHS tape that Dr. Sawyer engaged in aggressive and angry behaviors with others. He could have overstepped his boundaries and was being punished for it by using him in his own experiments. Or maybe, perhaps it was Sawyer's sacrifice to his work in making Playtime Co. sustainable and to keep it running. That could be why he chose DogDay as his vessel. DogDay is represented as the leader of his crew who is always trying to make the best of every situation. In that case, Sawyer would be trying to make the best of Playtime's poor financial situation by becoming what they needed. Another reason could be that Sawyer had fallen ill, which is why he couldn't attend his meetings anymore. Similar to Braun, turning him into DogDay would have been the way to preserve Sawyer and honor his work. With this in mind, it makes sense why DogDay is chained up and tortured after the Hour of Joy. It could be a personal vendetta for the prototype. In log 24459, the prototype tells Dr. Sawyer, "Do you feel anything? You stick us, beat us, tear at flesh. Do you feel it?" The prototype could be referring to the people being experimented on, and how Sawyer seems heartless about it. So torturing DogDay and leaving him to rot for years in a prison could be the prototype's revenge on Dr. Sawyer by inflicting the same pain onto him that he did to all his experiments. But let me know what you think. Is DogDay another experiment similar to Braun? And if so, was he actually Harley Sawyer? Let us know your theories in the comment section below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more Poppy Playtime videos.